Greetings and a good evening. We couldn't really think of a good game to play for this movie, so we're gonna be fighting a big flying bird. Welcome to the Atarangi. Today we're reviewing Suzume.
Suzume.
Ameno, let hier.
Imagine. Here he is.
Editor Barry, for any picture of the character Suzume that we put in this video, edit a doge face over her face.
Now that's a lot of work.
No, it's not. We're gonna be showing like 5 pictures in this whole video, because otherwise we'll get executed.
Hey, there's a turtle here.
Ah, it's spoiler-free section. First of all, art looks good, like always with this director.
Yes. For those wondering, same director as I think it was Kimi no Na wa?
Yeah.
And
Weathering with You. And a bunch of other ones.
Yes, but that's the ones that stood out the most.
Put a bit of a list here, Kowalski.
I can't wait to watch Weathering with You. I have the movie, but I haven't gotten around to watching it yet.
The story is the same as every other movie this guy makes. There's 2 people in love with each other that, because of magical time-space things, can't be together.
Yeah, sort of, I guess.
That's basically his story in every movie.
Yeah.
Which he has said himself. That's just what he does.
But he does it very well.
Yosh.
And he does it different every time.
Yeah, he does do it different every time. Also, this one is actually set in the real world.
Yes.
Every location they go to is a real location. Which wasn't the case in the other ones. In fact, we specifically looked up if the destroyed town was at one point a real-time town for Your Name. And it wasn't. In this case, every destroyed spot shown is a real destroyed spot. Which is fun.
Did they change the name? Did he change the names or no? No.
It's all real spots.
Okay. Because you could have taken some creative liberty and changed the name. The reason Klaus knows this and I don't is I haven't watched the developer. Director. I'm so used to the gaming industry. The director's commentary or whatever.
Yeah, I've watched some interviews. The entirety of this movie is based on the 2011 earthquake in Japan.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Which was a really big deal in Japan. Like, it actually destroyed a lot of stuff. Interestingly enough, like, for the 2011 earthquake, in Japan, the earthquake is the main thing remembered. Outside of Japan, the tsunami and the nuclear power plant are the main things that are remembered.
Yeah, because those probably had the, well, the tsunami not really, but the nuclear power plant had the most effect for outsiders.
Yeah, so anything else? The music's pretty good.
Music's pretty good. I actually listened to it all and have a Spotify playlist of that already, so that's how good it is.
There's a song from Kiki's Delivery Service in this one, which is a Miyazaki film. Miyazaki is a big inspiration to most anime movie makers. Miyazaki, by the way, working on his last movie.
Well, then we should watch it.
Yeah, he came out of retirement to make one last movie.
That's pretty cool.
Chat move.
Chat move.
Alright.
I find that the art style isn't like too special.
It's pretty generic.
Like it's pretty generic, but it still stands out to me for some reason.
That would be the art directing. The guy is very good at getting cool shots. Is the shots like his skies are a lot of fun?
Yeah.
Your Name did that a bit better than this one, but like the Spirit Realm has a great sky in this one.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but also like
the Spirit Realm in general looks really good.
The vibrancy is also just always good with this director, you know?
Let's throw up a picture of the Spirit Realm real quick. Like just when she first enters, like what you see through the door, the grass field. Alright, I guess you don't have much spoiler-free stuff left, so let's go into spoilers.
Yes.
Scoring sheet, as always. We do recommend this one.
Yes, though it might be for a bit of a niche audience, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's a regular, like, romance movie. The only thing that would make it niche is that it's anime, and I don't subscribe to the idea of medium making things niche.
That is indeed correct.
Alright, spoilers.
Voila!
You first.
I love how the start of the movie makes more sense at the end of the movie, but it also does make sense at the beginning. And if you haven't watched the movie yet, you're probably gonna be confused as to why I'm saying this. So watch the movie and then tell me that I'm correct, because it just feels that way. Like, it just starts with a little girl in a field crying and stuff, and at the end of the movie, you basically look back to that from another perspective, which is pretty interesting.
That's also the reason why she remembers him, because he was there.
Which technically means she doesn't have parents?
No, she has parents. Why would she not have parents? Her parents died in the earthquake.
Yes. But technically it's a loop.
No, it's not a loop. She finds herself after her parents died.
Yes. See how this movie can get really confusing real quick.
Especially if your name is Bliari.
Yes.
Alright, so at the start of the film, we're just following this, excuse me?
Snap snake?
Yeah. So at the start of the movie, we're just following Suzume. We find the main guy a bit later on. He's looking for ruins. Eventually,
no, actually, he's looking for the door.
Yeah, but he asks for ruins.
Yes.
Also, ruins are a main theme of this movie. The director says this movie is about healing, and ruins are the wounds of a nation.
That is true.
I'm just gonna throw some director quotes in this review. Yeah, so Suzume finds the door, releases a worm, and lets the cat escape.
Yosh.
Simply said. Then the guy gets wounded trying to close the door. She takes him home to patch him up.
I wanna just quickly interject there. I love how real she reacts to the fact that she can see the worm, but no one else can.
Oh yeah.
She's like really like, wait, you guys can't see this?
She's utter confusion.
Yeah. And I think it's well drawn really well, but also voice acted really well.
The voice acting is pretty good. We watched in Japanese because we tend to watch in original language.
Yeah.
Which means if we watch a Korean movie, we will be watching in Korean.
I do hope they have subtitles.
I mean, we only watch when there's subtitles.
It's actually pretty fun because I went to watch this movie with Joanna in the cinema, and the first like 2 or 3 words that get said in the movie, I just understood those before I read the subtitles.
LOL.
Which was pretty fun. That's what almost doing a year of Japanese gets you on Duolingo.
So a bit later on, the main joke of the movie happens and our main guy gets turned into a chair.
He turned himself into a chair.
No, actually a cat turned him into.
Yeah, I can't turn him into a chair. Funniest thing I've seen all day.
To bring up the cat, when the cat isn't liked by anyone, the cat like shrivels down. Yeah? When the cat is liked, he's fine. That's because, also I just combat carved. That's because the cats are based on Japanese kami, Japanese gods. And Japanese gods' power is based on how much people pray to them.
Okay.
Which is why the seals weaken in the movie, because they're not prayed to anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
By the way, these earthquake seal things are a real thing in Japan. There's several around.
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of expect them to have that sort of stuff. Most likely at shrines, though, I think.
Yeah. Obviously.
You know, it's a nice a nice way to deal with it.
We go on a big road trip all around Japan. Which, according to the director, a lot of young people in Japan take road trips like that when they get out of school and don't know what to do with their life.
I should move to Japan. I just want to take a road.
He has also stated he wants to do one himself, but he doesn't have time because he's drawing anime.
Well, I would say same, but I'm just working.
Yeah.
I would love to do a road trip.
Again, all locations here are real locations. Reimagined.
I will monetize road trips at some point. I just can't. I just can't not do that.
And one of the, because I brought up the real world locations, one of the things I want to bring up, this shot from the Spirit Realm that has a boat on a roof is based on a real picture from Fukushima after the tsunami.
Yeah. I actually just went like, wait, I've seen that like shot before.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Now that you say it, like, yeah, it actually comes from there.
The theme park is also a real theme park.
You know what I think is nice about this movie? You've got this like very intense intro sequence, and it just cuts
Then we go on
down.
a groovy road trip.
No, like it just cuts down into like the title screen with like very soft music.
Oh yeah.
Which is like, I was so tense and now I'm just not. Like, what? That's such a bold move and it works out so well.
If you're new to this channel, we don't go through the movie sequentially that much, like a lot of other ones do. We just talk about random parts.
Yeah.
Basically, we're assuming you've either watched the movie or are undecided and just want to hear us rambling to decide. That's why we show you the score sheet at the start.
Ow.
So, yeah.
One of the things I like, every time the chair falls asleep, he falls over.
He falls over and he starts falling asleep more and more. And that's because he actually is the new keystone, the new sealing stone.
Oh, she did.
Nice.
Well, I've still got stuff to go over.
Yeah, keep going.
In the Ferris wheel. So the
Ferris
wheel
wheel is a nice scene.
It's a very nice scene, and I love when she's like stepping into it. Like one step is in the real world, the other step's in the like dream world or whatever, you know. And like it switches between it, but it switches very smoothly. Like it's not jarring. For how fast it switches, it should be like pretty much jarring, but it does it so well that it's like not. And I just love like I just love the comparison in the moment of where she's in the real world and where she thinks she is.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. Well, the music, you've already pointed that out, it's gorgeous. But one of the things I find is the music that the guy plays on the road trip from Tokyo to the final game, well, to the final door.
I believe, yeah, that's fun. That's a fun part.
Like, he actually, like, tunes it to, like, the mood, but then, like, completely misses, which is so fun. I must say, I like the mix between the flashbacks and the current world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the execution of that is great.
Most certainly.
Most certain, perhaps.
The guy's design is pretty cool, which is fun to be able to say, because most guys' designs in anime is kind of boring. Especially anime set in the real world.
I love the guy at the end with the car so goddamn much. Like, it starts raining, he like drops the roof. It doesn't close all the way.
Yeah.
Then later on he has an accident and it closes automatically.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, that's fixed. And then he opens his door and the door falls off. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I also think the guy drives a Viper, which is probably not easy to find in Japan.
I don't know. Most cool cars are pretty easy to find in Japan.
Because that's an American car, so...
Sure is. Alright, so... What else? The reason he chose to focus on ruins so much is because the amount of ruins in Japan is increasing a lot. And that's because of the decreasing population and an increase in natural disasters as of late.
That's interesting. The decrease in population makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, they've literally asked for that. Oh, well, to fix that.
Yeah, they're trying to fix that. It's not working though.
No, of course not.
It's not working because of all of the working.
Yeah. It's because of their society.
Coming soon to a dank river valley near you.
Ow. I'm fine. Even though it's not a very emotional movie, the second viewing I cried at the end.
Nice.
Which was surprising, but it's just like so well done. That kind of gives it a bit of the emotional part.
Yeah. If you kind of miss the theme about healing of the movie, there's a scene that feels really out of place, which is when the big cat arrives. The sister of Suzume, I think it is. No, it's the... Yeah, she's family.
The auntie.
Yeah, of Suzume, and Suzume have like a big fight.
Yes.
Under influence of the big cat.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because they need to have a conversation like that to actually both heal, like mentally. That's what the cat is doing, basically.
Yeah. They're basically forcing them to have that conversation, which is nice. The first time I watched that, I was kind of confused.
Yeah, it feels out of place if you like are not completely in the vibe of the team yet.
But the second viewing, I was like, okay, yeah, so this makes sense.
Because a lot of time is given to her, like accepting what happened in the past. Because she did lose her family. She used to live in a town around Fukushima, which got completely leveled. And even to this very day in real life, basically no one lives there.
Yeah. I love how the execution of the Google Maps and stuff is done.
And I don't know if you know this, Barry. Do you know why there is a long road trip?
No?
Because most of the people that moved away from the towns around Fukushima moved all the way to the other side of Japan because they didn't want to think of their town anymore.
Makes sense.
So she had to cross the entirety of Japan to get back home.
I love how the small cat basically starts off helping you.
Yeah. The cats are definitely the least well explained part of the movie.
Yeah, but it does make sense. They have their roles.
I mean, yes.
And at the ending, like they actually like help Suzume a lot.
Yeah. I would have liked to know how the family member of the guy knows the cats though.
Well, he used to be like the same thingy that.
Yeah, but he didn't know the cat. Like our main guy doesn't personally know the cat.
Yes. Maybe he had an encounter like that as well. That's the thing about these directors' movies. They're always kind of open-ended.
Yeah, well, not open-ended, but like some parts are left out.
Yeah.
Because the endings are pretty clear. I like that she ends up without shoes running around.
I love how there's actually people reacting to that. Ouch. Misty, you missed.
I like, so it's about healing, the movie, and that goes for the main goal of closing the doors as well. It's a metaphorical laying the pains of the people to rest. That's why you always hear the voices of people still having a good time at the abandoned areas when they close the doors. It's like accepting the good times and moving on. That's what the doors are about. And
Very, very well executed.
yeah.
Very smooth.
I think Your Name is a stronger movie in general.
Yeah.
I think
Your Name
that's
is definitely stronger.
I think that's about what I've got for this movie.
Yes, I'm excited to watch Weathering with you,
It's on the list. That's all.
and I'm excited to see what he comes up with next.
I will definitely keep an eye on it,
And I hope that you guys are excited for the Kung Fu Panda review,
which has been delayed,
which has been delayed.
as you see, as it's not here. It's also delayed again because the next one is Spider-Verse.
Yosh. Spider-Verse 2 Part 1.
Yosh.
And maybe eventually Spider-Verse 2 Part 2.
Maybe even before Kung Fu Panda.
Who knows?
And with that card, let's move on to the scoring screen. Sheets and good scorings. Welcome to the scoring sheet. We are tired. And let's get into the scores. Characters. We found most of the characters to be kinda middle of the road. The designs are regular people. The guy has a standout design for this movie, but that's about it. They all fill their roles. There's a bunch of characters during the travels that have specific roles. Like the lady that owns the restaurant, Orange's girl, car guy,
I mean the cats, I guess.
the cat, yeah. Personalities are kinda standard, no one really stands out, but certainly not bad. From characters we're moving on.
For roles, I would even say that like people in the background fill their role really well because
responding to her
they
running
actually
around and
like
stuff.
they actually say like, what, she's not wearing any shoes and stuff. So like they actually gave them voice lines to make it feel more alive, which was okay.
Onto design, which it's a very nice looking take on abandoned parts of Japan. That's most of the design. The effects for the keys look very nice. Barry likes the final form of the worm.
Yeah, not the the final one. Yeah. Not exactly the final form, but like the one where it's above Tokyo.
Yeah.
Which goes along with the killer soundtrack.
Yo. Which on some future version of this scoring sheet we gotta get sound design and soundtrack on it. Right. Visualis. Quality. It's an anime movie, it looks good. Consistency. The only thing that's inconsistent is the worm is at some points kinda obvious CG. And it looks a bit out of place sometimes. And the style, well, it's the same style this director always uses. It's not standout next to other anime movies, but it's certainly not bad.
Yeah. World building.
There's a surprising amount of world building in this one.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there is, but I guess it's very well hidden.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good, and I guess you could say the same for the team in the story. That's also like kind of hidden, but also
the themes of healing and natural disasters.
Yeah, once you get that stuff, it's like really good, which is why we gave it a really high score.
Yeah, the plot is basically, as I said in the review a bit ago, the same story this director always does.
Yeah.
And the tone is not bad. It's kind of there.
It exists.
Same for the acting. Nothing stood out to us.
No. Nothing stood out, but also not that there's like a terrible voice actor or anything.
No, you're perfect. Everyone's perfectly adequate.
It's good. It's good. Well, okay.
For reference, we're not a regular scoring thing here. When something is half, like the acting is here, that means it's good enough. That means it's worth watching.
Yeah.
Because a lot of scores people think like anything below like 7.5 is not worth watching.
Yeah, no.
With our scores, anything above 50% is a pass. Is a go watch it.
Like you'll see if we give something a bad score, because it will just suddenly be below half.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
And then we're all around, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we are. That's it.
We came full circle, so I guess we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
Where do we start?
So where do we start? We just kinda just go, eh?
Hey there, bud. Yeah, let's go with these scoring sheet, bud.
Let's go, yeah.